Hey, folks, before we dive into this wild story, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Your support keeps these tales coming. Now, buckle up, because this one starts with a bang and doesn't let go. The parking lot outside Parkview Mall was a concrete sea, glinting under sodium lights, the Dallas night thick with summer heat. It was 9:17 p.m., shops closing, families trickling out. Near a dented minivan, a kid, maybe 16, skinny, with a backpack slung low, fumbled with his bike lock. His name was Tyler, a mall arcade regular, saving for a new headset. He didn't see the shadows moving behind him. 3 figures emerged, hoodies up, faces masked by bandanas. The leader, broad-shouldered, cracked his knuckles. Wallet. Phone. Now, he barked. Tyler froze, hands shaking. I don't have much, he stammered, dropping his bike. The leader laughed, cold, and swung a fist at Tyler's jaw. The kid hit the asphalt, blood pooling under his cheek. A woman nearby gasped, clutching her kid, but no one moved. The second thug kicked Tyler's ribs, hard. Wrong answer. A note fell from the leader's pocket, unnoticed, fluttering under a car. Scrawled in red ink, "Norris, you're next. Stay out." The thugs didn't see it. They grabbed Tyler's backpack, smashed his phone, and vanished into the dark. Tyler groaned, curling up, as headlights swept past, indifferent. The mall's security camera blinked, but the lot was too dim to catch faces. Across the lot, Chuck Norris, 85, stepped out of his truck. Denim jacket, cowboy hat low, he'd come to pick up his grandson from the arcade. His boots paused on the pavement, eyes catching Tyler's crumpled form. At 85, Chuck moved slower, but his instincts were razor-sharp, honed by decades of fights most wouldn't survive. He scanned the lot, empty now, save for the kid and the woman hurrying away. Something wasn't right. Chuck approached Tyler, kneeling despite the ache in his knees. "You okay, son?" His voice was gravel, steady. Tyler winced, clutching his side. "They took everything," he gasped. Chuck's jaw tightened. He'd seen this before, predators picking the weak. But this felt personal, like a trap. He helped Tyler sit up, checking for broken bones. "Stay put. I'll get help." As he stood, his boot nudged the note under the car. Chuck bent down, fingers brushing the paper. He read it, eyes narrowing. "Norris, you're next." His pulse didn't quicken, he'd faced worse threats, but the name sparked a memory. Years ago, he'd dismantled a Dallas gang, the Vipers, sending their leader, Rico, to prison. Rico's crew swore revenge. Was this them, back for blood? Chuck pocketed the note, mind racing. Tyler needed a hospital, but the note meant danger wasn't gone. He scanned the lot again, spotting a flicker, a hoodie in the shadows, watching. Not a thug, someone else. A lookout? Chuck's gut said this wasn't random. He helped Tyler to his truck, laying him across the back seat. "Hang on, kid," he said, dialing 911. "Ambulance, Parkview Mall lot, Section C, teens hurt bad." The operator promised help in 10 minutes. Chuck hung up, eyes on the shadows. The lookout was gone, but the note burned in his pocket. He could wait for cops, let them handle it. Safer, cleaner. But Tyler's blood on the asphalt and that name, Norris, changed things. At 85, he wasn't looking for fights, but he'd never walked from one either. He locked the truck, leaving Tyler safe, and moved toward where the lookout vanished. The mall's edge met a chain-link fence, beyond it a strip of abandoned lots. Chuck's boots crunched gravel, his hand brushing the knife in his boot, old habit, still sharp. A rustle ahead stopped him. A figure darted between rusted cars, too quick to ID. Chuck didn't chase, he listened. The night was alive, crickets, distant traffic, and something else. Footsteps, circling back. "Who's out there?" Chuck called, voice low, commanding. No answer, but the footsteps stopped. He crouched, eyes adjusting to the dark. A glint, metal, maybe a blade, flashed 20 yards off. Not a viper tactic, they were louder, brasher. This was calculated, like a hunter. Chuck's mind flicked to the note. Stay out. Of what? Tyler's beating, or something bigger. A siren wailed, faint but closing. The glint vanished, the figure melting away. Chuck stood, exhaling. Whoever they were, they'd be back. He returned to the truck, finding Tyler conscious, pale. They knew my name, Tyler whispered. Called me Arcade Kid. How'd they know? Chuck's jaw clenched. Targeted. Not random. The Vipers, or whoever sent the note, were watching, planning. As paramedics arrived, Chuck stepped back, note heavy in his pocket. Tyler was safe, for now, but the threat wasn't over. The note wasn't just a warning, it was a challenge. And Chuck Norris, even at 85, didn't back down from those. The hospital room smelled of antiseptic, its fluorescent lights buzzing like trapped flies. Tyler lay in a bed, ribs bandaged, face bruised but alert. It was 7 a.m., 12 hours after the parking lot attack. Chuck Norris, 85, sat beside him, cowboy hat on his knee, denim jacket creased from a sleepless night. The note, Norris, you're next. Stay out. Was folded in his pocket, its red ink a silent taunt. Tyler's words echoed, they knew my name. This wasn't a random hit. Tell me again, Chuck said, voice low, steady. Tyler swallowed, eyes darting. They called me Arcade Kid. Said I owed them for playing their machines. I thought, maybe they work at the mall. Chuck's jaw tightened. The Parkview Mall arcade was a kid magnet, bright lights, claw games, easy prey. He'd seen gang shakedown teens before, but the note made this personal. His old fight with the Vipers, Rico's gang, felt too close. A knock interrupted. A woman stepped in, mid-30s, hoodie, sharp eyes. Elena, from Chuck's run-in with the broker. Her nurse scrubs were gone, replaced by street clothes, but her stance screamed purpose. Norris, she said, nodding. Heard about the kid. I'm here to help. Chuck's eyes narrowed. Why? Elena glanced at Tyler, then back. This gang, the Reapers, hit my nephew last month. Same MO, parking lot, targeted. I've been tracking him. Chuck studied her. Elena had fought beside him before, loyal but cagey. Her story checked out, but her timing was too perfect. Reapers, he repeated. Not Vipers? Elena shook her head. New crew, but they're using Viper tricks, extortion, fear. Word is, someone's bankrolling him. Chuck's gut twisted. Rico, maybe, pulling strings from prison. Or worse, out free. Tyler shifted, wincing. They said, next time, it's worse. Like they're watching. Chuck stood, hat back on. They are. And we're watching back. He turned to Elena. You got leads? She pulled a crumpled flyer from her pocket, arcade promo, Parkview Mall, with a scribbled address, Redstone Lot, midnight. Reapers recruit there, she said. Lowlifes looking for cash. I was going tonight. Chuck pocketed the flyer. Redstone Lot was a junkyard, perfect for deals gone quiet. We go together, he said. Elena nodded, but her eyes flickered, something unsaid. Chuck didn't press, not yet. Trust was earned, and Elena was on thin ice. Outside, Dallas baked under morning sun, the hospital lot humming with cars. Chuck's truck was parked near a chain-link fence, its paint chipped but engine loyal. Elena followed, scanning the area like a hawk. You think it's Rico? She asked, voice low. Chuck didn't answer, climbing in. The note's threat, stay out, meant someone knew him, his moves. Rico's Vipers had sworn blood after he'd shut them down in '98. If they were back, kids like Tyler were just bait. The drive to Parkview Mall was silent, tension thick. Chuck parked near the arcade entrance, its neon signs flickering even in daylight. Inside, Kids swarmed, laughter, beeping games, the clink of quarters. Chuck's eyes swept the room, landing on a corner machine, its screen dark, marked out of order. A kid, maybe 14, lingered nearby, nervous, checking his phone. Chuck approached, casual. "Know who runs these?" The kid flinched. Some guy. Big. Comes Fridays." Chuck nodded. "Reaper territory." Elena whispered, "That's their drop spot. Kids pay protection to play." Chuck's fist clenched. Extortion, small time but vicious. He noticed a camera above, lens taped over. No security here, just predators. The kid bolted, spooked. Chuck didn't chase, he had enough. "Redstone tonight," he told Elena. "We find them, we end this." Back in the truck, Elena's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, face tightening, then pocketed it. "My contact," she said, too quick. "Says Reapers are meeting a boss tonight." Chuck's eyes bored into her. "What aren't you telling me?" Elena met his gaze, steady but strained. "My nephew, he's still missing. Reapers took him. I need this bus to find him." Her voice cracked, raw. Chuck nodded, but doubt lingered. Elena's stakes were personal, maybe too personal. As they drove to Redstone, the note's words burned. "Norris, you're next." At the junkyard, rusted cars loomed like graves under moonlight. Chuck parked a block away, knife in his boot, senses sharp. Elena checked a pistol, small but lethal. "No guns unless it's life or death," Chuck said, voice firm. She nodded, tucking it away. Voices drifted, harsh, laughing. Chuck crept closer, Elena behind. 5 Reapers stood in a circle, the leader from the parking lot among them, bandana loose. A new figure joined, tall, scarred, too old for a street thug. "Rico's out," he growled. "Wants Norris' head." Kid was a message. Chuck froze. "Rico, free. The Vipers reborn as Reapers." "But why kids? Why now?" Elena's breath hitched. "That's him," she whispered. "The one who took my nephew." Her hand twitched toward her gun. Chuck gripped her wrist. "Not yet." But the twist hit, her phone buzzed again, screen glowing. A text, "Elena, play nice. We're watching." No sender. Chuck's blood ran cold. Was Elena bait, too? The Redstone junkyard was a maze of rusted hulks, moonlight glinting off shattered windshields. It was midnight, the Dallas air heavy with oil and menace. Chuck Norris, 85, crouched behind a gutted van, cowboy hat low, knife in his boot. Elena, hoodie tight, scanned the shadows, her pistol holstered per Chuck's rule, no guns unless it's do or die. The Reapers' voices echoed, planning their next hit. Chuck's gut churned. Kids like Tyler were targets, and the note, "Norris, you're next," meant he was, too. 5 Reapers stood in a clearing, the leader's bandana now off, revealing a scar across his cheek. The older man, Rico's lieutenant, barked orders, "Maul's soft. More kids tomorrow." Chuck's fist clenched. Extortion was just the start, fear was their game. Elena whispered, "My nephew's in there, somewhere." Her phone, with that text, "Play nice. We're watching," was dark, but Chuck didn't trust her. Not fully. A figure stepped from the shadows, Marco, from the broker fight, his leather jacket scuffed, eyes hard. "Norris is here," he said, voice flat. Chuck froze. Marco, loyal in the train yard, now with Reapers? Elena's breath caught. "He's Vega's son," she hissed. "Rico's cousin." Chuck's mind raced. Rico, free, was pulling family strings. Marco's presence wasn't chance, it was a lure. Turning point 1, before Chuck could signal retreat, floodlights blazed, pinning them in a circle of light. A megaphone crackled, "Norris, you're done." Reapers emerged, armed, pipes, chains, one with a gun. Elena drew her pistol, but Chuck grabbed her wrist. "Wait." A new voice cut through, female, sharp. "Stand down, all of you." A woman in a black jacket flashed a badge, FBI. "Elena's with us," she said. Chuck's jaw dropped. "Elena, undercover?" Her eyes met his, guilty. "I couldn't tell you," she said. "Feds needed Rico." The Reapers hesitated, but Marco laughed, cold. "Doesn't matter. Rico wants blood." He nodded, and a Reaper fired, not at Chuck, but the Fed. She dropped, clutching her shoulder. Chaos erupted. Chuck moved, instinct overriding age, tackling Elena behind a car. Bullets sparked off metal. "You lied," he growled. Elena's face twisted. "To save my nephew. Rico's got him hostage." Chuck's anger cooled. Her betrayal was personal, but her stakes were real. Turning point 2, Marco advanced, pipe in hand. "You ruined Rico, Norris," he spat. "Prison broke him. Now I break you." Chuck stood, hands open, no weapon. "You're better than this, Marco." Marco swung, fast. Chuck sidestepped, guiding the pipe past, using Marco's momentum to trip him. Marco hit the dirt, stunned. "I trusted you," Chuck said, voice heavy. Marco's eyes flickered, shame, maybe, but he scrambled up, rejoining the Reapers. Elena fired, grazing a Reaper's arm, scattering them. Chuck dragged her toward cover, the Fed crawling behind. "Plan?" Elena panted. Chuck's eyes scanned, cars, crates, a shed. "Get to that shed. Radio for backup." The Fed nodded, blood soaking her sleeve. "Rico's at the mall," she gasped. "Tomorrow, noon. Big hit." Chuck's blood ran cold. A public attack, kids in the crossfire. Tyler's face flashed in his mind. They reached the shed, its door ajar. Inside, a radio crackled, but so did footsteps, Reapers closing in. Chuck barred the door, buying time. Elena worked the radio, voice urgent, "Code 3, Redstone lot. Officer down." The Fed slumped, pale. Chuck tore his sleeve, binding her wound. "Stay alive," he said. She nodded, weak. Outside, Marco's voice rang, "Give up, Norris. Rico's got the city." Chuck's jaw tightened. Rico's grudge was old, but this was new, organized, funded. The note, Marco's betrayal, Elena's secret, it all pointed to a bigger play. "Why kids?" Chuck called. Marco laughed. "Fear's cheap. Control's priceless." Chuck's gut twisted. The Reapers weren't just thieves, they were building an empire on terror. Elena's radio buzzed, back up 10 minutes out. Too long. A Reaper rammed the door, wood splintering. Chuck braced it, boots slipping. Elena aimed her gun, but Chuck shook his head. "Save it." He grabbed a rusted wrench from the floor, heavy but balanced. At 85, he fought smart, not hard. The door buckled. A Reaper burst in, chain swinging. Chuck ducked, wrench cracking the man's knee. He dropped, groaning. Another rushed, Chuck sidestepped, elbow to the gut, down. Elena tackled a third, her training sharp. But Marco hung back, watching, pipe ready. "Last chance, Norris," he said. Chuck met his gaze. "Yours, too." Sirens wailed, close. Marco cursed, bolting with the remaining Reapers. Chuck didn't chase, he had the Fed to save, Elena to question, and a mall attack to stop. The note's threat loomed, "You're next." Rico was waiting, and tomorrow, noon, would be war. The Parkview Mall buzzed with noon crowds, kids weaving through shoppers, arcade lights flashing. Chuck Norris, 85, moved through the chaos, denim jacket loose, cowboy hat shadowing his eyes. His boots echoed on tile, each step deliberate. Elena flanked him, her Fed badge hidden, face tight with worry for her nephew, Diego, held by Rico's Reapers. The note, "Norris, you're next," burned in Chuck's pocket. Rico's attack was imminent, targeting kids to spark panic. The food court loomed, packed, families, teens, noise. Chuck's eyes scanned for reapers. The Fed from the junkyard, arm-bandaged, had briefed them. Rico planned to trap kids in the arcade, using fear to draw Chuck out. Elena's radio crackled. Backup was blocks away, delayed by traffic. "We're on our own," she said. Chuck nodded, knife in his boot, no gun. At 85, he fought with wits, not fists. A scream cut through the chatter. Near the arcade, two reapers, bandanas up, herded kids inside, bats in hand. Tyler, ribs still sore, was among them, pale but standing. Chuck's jaw clenched. Rico wanted a spectacle, and Chuck was the bait. He moved forward, Elena behind, weaving past panicked shoppers. "Stay low," he told her. "Find Diego." Inside the arcade, neon flickered, game silent. Rico stood center, 50s, grizzled, prison scars on his knuckles. Marco, pipe in hand, guarded Diego, a scared 12-year-old tied to a chair. Tyler stood nearby, eyes wide. "Norris!" Rico roared, spotting Chuck. "You took my life. Now I take yours." His reapers blocked exits, bats ready. Turning point one, Rico grinned, venomous. "This ain't about money," he said. "It's about you. Hero Norris, savior. I'll burn this mall, let kids die, and your name will be mud." Chuck's gut twisted. Rico's grudge wasn't revenge, it was chaos, to ruin Chuck's legacy. The note wasn't a threat, it was a promise to break him publicly. "You're a coward," Chuck said, voice steady. "Hiding behind kids." Rico laughed, nodding to Marco, who raised his pipe over Diego. Elena, hidden behind a claw machine, aimed her pistol but froze, too risky. Chuck stepped closer, hands open. "Let him go, Rico." "Face me." Rico smirked. "You're old, Norris." "Slow." He swung a bat, fast. Chuck leaned back, bat grazing his chest, then grabbed Rico's wrist, twisting. Rico grunted, bat clattering. The reapers charged. Chuck ducked a pipe, elbowed a thug's jaw, dropping him. Elena tackled another, freeing Diego. But Marco lunged at Chuck, pipe high. "For Rico," he yelled. Chuck sidestepped, tripping Marco, who crashed into a game. "You chose wrong," Chuck said, voice heavy. Marco scrambled up, shame in his eyes, but stayed down. Turning point two, Tyler, ignored by reapers, grabbed a fallen bat. "Get off him," he shouted, swinging at a thug near Chuck. The bat cracked the man's arm, sending him reeling. Tyler, the beaten kid, stood tall, chest heaving. Chuck nodded, pride flickering. "Good man." Tyler's act shifted the fight, kids in the arcade, inspired, pushed back, throwing tokens, toppling machines. Rico roared, grabbing Diego as a shield. Elena screamed, "Let him go." Chuck moved, faster than his ears, closing the gap. Rico shoved Diego, swinging a knife. Chuck caught his arm, redirecting the blade into a game screen, sparks flying. With a sharp pivot, Chuck kneed Rico's gut, dropping him. "It's over," Chuck said, breathless. Sirens wailed outside, feds arriving. Reapers scattered, but Marco stayed, hands up, eyes on Chuck. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Chuck nodded, not forgiving, but understanding. Elena hugged Diego, tears falling. Tyler helped free other kids, his bruise a badge now. The mall quieted, shoppers peering in, phones down, awed. Chuck stepped outside, blood on his knuckles, hat tilted. A Fed handed him a note found on Rico, Vipers rise. Norris falls. No signature, but it wasn't Rico's hand. Chuck's jaw tightened. A remnant, still out there, watching. He pocketed it, eyes on the horizon. The mall resumed, kids safe, Rico cuffed. Tyler approached Chuck. "Thanks," he said, voice firm. Chuck clapped his shoulder. "You saved yourself." Elena joined, Diego clinging to her. "We got him," she said. Chuck nodded, but the note's weight lingered. The fight wasn't over. As Chuck walked to his truck, the Dallas sun blazed, casting long shadows. He'd stopped Rico, saved lives, but the Viper's echo remained. For now, he'd done enough. But tomorrow? He'd be ready.